Hello, everyone. Again, I'm very happy to see so many attendants. Again, for this webinar, we had approximately 500 registrants. Um, and as always, you can use Q&A for questions and chat for other needs. Furthermore, we will upload this webinar recording to our YouTube channel and our website. There you will also find all questions and answers. So I just ask you, if you have a question, write into the Q&A section. So I believe most of you have seen our latest corporate presentation. If not, please contact your sales manager and he will be happy to show it for you. And why am I speaking about the corporate presentation? Because there you will be able to see one very important fact that keeps us growing, the Teltonika networks growing, the portfolio growth of 30% each year. And that is why today, to keep this going, I will make an introduction of our two latest products, which are quite similar from the outside, as you see in the slide, but different from the inside. So let me begin with an introduction of a tiny device to connect what's important, a TSV110, an unmanaged industrial Ethernet switch, and which follows basically the same product philosophy of Teltonika networks: reliable, secure, and easy to use. So we have managed to gather our whole experience and client feedback by making this product, since according to them, this kind of product, an unmanaged industrial Ethernet switch, has so much potential and demand in the market. Before the creation of this product, we have made a research. And as you know, probably all companies does that, the research. And what was interesting from it is that most of companies are using this kind of switches more often than 8 or 16 port switches for network infrastructure. Talking more accurately about this product, I would like to highlight that its size is so small that you can put it anywhere, basically, in any industrial cabinet. It weighs less than a mobile phone, and it supports wide operating temperature range from -40 degrees Celsius to +75, which makes basically it immune to harsh temperature conditions. Also, it has fully rugged aluminum housing. Furthermore, the main feature is that it has 5 gigabit Ethernet ports, out of which you can use the first one to power this switch up by using passive PoE. It has also an industrial grade mounting, DIN rail and wall mounting. Furthermore, you can power it up by using, let's say, batteries or other power sources from 7 to 30 volts. And all of this comes to an understanding of why switch is needed, why switch is created and used. So the answer lays behind these three main purposes, as you see in the slide. So the first one is to transfer data to more endpoints, like CCTV cameras, phone, access point, or any other device that receives data through Ethernet interface. And there might be different use cases where multiple TSV 110 will be, let's say, interconnected together to complete more extensive installations. Another purpose is to withstand harsh conditions and adapt to the necessary solution requirements. Also, you can mount an industrial switch on a DIN rail. You can place it in a cabinet, which can stand, let's say, in the middle of the desert or Siberia. Since our switch supports wide temperature range, and also using an Ethernet cable, let's say reaching approximately 100 meters, you might corrupt the data, meaning you will increase, let's say, the ping, you might lose data packets. So you must place a switch every approximately 100 meters to avoid this. When we were designing TSV 110, we thought that its position would be in the middle in the competitive market. It is not a consumer grade product, but it is not also a highly priced product. We position TSV 110 like a high-end product for a mid-end price. Well, like all our devices. This one, again, follows the same product philosophy. Also, it would be great to understand in which phase we are. and that is why I would like to speak about differences between consumer grade switch and industrial one. So the main difference includes power supply unit. Why it is important? Because the consumer grade product usually has a barrel connector for a power supply, like let's say a laptop, which can be easily taken out. And industrial products have wide range of power supplies, voltages, allowing them, let's say, to use power sources inside the cabinets. Also, TSV 110 and other, most of other industrial switches includes 4-pin power supply, which stays in place even in tough conditions with vibrations or movements. Furthermore, again, the operating temperature range is different. Most consumer grade products supports operating temperature range from 0 to only 40 degrees Celsius. And if you would take a consumer grade product and put it again under the sun in the middle of the desert or in the middle of the summer in Lithuania even, it will stop working. If you will put it outside, let's say right today, that we have in Lithuania, minus 10, minus 15, it will stop working, and ours would not. And the last, mounting options. Imagine that you are having an, let's say, automation cabinet, and you need to put a switch inside it, or inside, let's say, an industrial machinery. What you will do? Buy a consumer grade plastic switch and put it where? No. You will buy an industrial grade product and mount it on a DIN rail. So with all these features, you can face many new opportunities in the market. Imagine, let's say, that you are having a huge factory and hundreds of networking devices which requires internet connectivity. You will be trying to find the best way to ensure that the infrastructure will be cost effective. So instead of using many expensive, let's say, routers, you might want to use industrial Ethernet switch. Furthermore, an industrial Ethernet switch can be really helpful in home office or in small, mid-size office infrastructure. Uh, let's say, since they are not so, expensive, but they offer much more stable and reliable distribution of your data. For you to understand and imagine this a little bit better, we have prepared a few topologies that might help you with that. So the first one is with the retail area. And as you can see from this topology, we have used two devices, an industrial cellular router RUT950 and our latest switch TSW110. So on the left side, you can see warehouse area, which is full of personnel and with barcode scanners, would require stable and strong Wi-Fi signal, which is well provided, let's say, by RET950. And on the other side, on the right side, you can see a shopping area with POS systems, computers, etc., where TSV 110 plays the main role, distributing reliable data to payment systems. In this way, a big shopping center can have a secure, reliable connectivity with just a few routers and switches. Another topology is with manufacturing factory connectivity. Here you can see an application in a factory, let's say like ours, the Teltonika EMS factory, where all our products are made in Lithuania. And all of the HMIs, PLCs, sensors, and other IP equipment must be interconnected to function as designed. And here the switch plays a very important role by transferring data from the server to manufacturing lines, PLCs, HMIs, and different sensors, which basically ensures smooth operation. Furthermore, you can take a look anywhere, basically, and you will see that most of the networking infrastructures like manufacturing plants, tunnels, airports, train stations, and even supermarkets are using unmanaged Ethernet switches for their simplicity and price. So talking about TSV 110, from the beginning of designing and thinking about the release of this product, we have researched the market, trust me, searching how we can be unique, how we could offer different functionalities, different product to you, to our clients, to our partners worldwide. And we realized that in the market, Most of our competitors are offering unmanaged industrial Ethernet switches with only 100 megabits throughput, with operating temperature ranges from 0 to 60 and the price reaching almost the router's price. And what you should understand that TSV110 is equipped with gigabit Ethernet, not 100 megabit. It is also a small sized device, and trust me, it has a better, let's say, pricing. It is cost effective, and it has full aluminum housing, and it has Teltonika Networks branding that is much more than logos, colors, or how the website looks. Brand also carries a reputation of manufacturer's ability, let's say, to create and deliver reliable devices. Over the years, we have proved to our partners in the market that they can trust our products to their complex networking solutions. They can trust our company and they can have a long-term partnership with us. Also, what is important is that all of our equipment is designed and manufactured in Lithuania, in Europe, which allows us to have a close quality control and make sure that all of the products we deliver comply with the high quality and reliability standards that we strongly believe in. So that's quite it about TSV 110. And now I will check if we have questions. All right, so one question is from how many ports this switch has. So as in the pictures, this switch is having 4+1 or a LANs, a LAN port. Checking if we have other questions, maybe in the chat. Okay, I see that in the chat we have questions. I have mentioned from the beginning, guys, that use Q&A for questions. It will be way easier for us and it will be easier for you. All right. I have a question about PoE. Why no PoE on the output? Well, we have another device, TSV100, which has the PoE, and you can use it, let's say, for installations that requires it. I have a question about 24 PoE port managed switch. I believe we will make many new different switches in the future. I cannot tell you if we will make 24 ports, but if you have an ideas, if you have, let's say, something like a project or whatever, you can easily write to us and we can chat about it. We can speak about it. Again, we want to hear all your feedback, all your opinion.
Just to jump in to help Andres track the questions. Hi, everybody. I would like to highlight some of them. Azad is inquiring, due to horizontal DIN rail mounting, it will take more space comparable to other industrial switch. Not necessarily, because due to the design of our DIN rail mounting, you can actually mount it on different surfaces of the product. So it can take also, comparable amount of space in an industrial cabinet to clear up that for Azad. Also, I'm seeing multiple questions about PoE. So just to highlight, as Andres mentioned, another similar device, our TSV100 supports PoE and PoE+.
All right, Marius. So thank you. Do you have any other answers to those questions?
Well, we are seeing questions incoming as we speak. However, as always, we post the answers to our Q&A functionality. So considering the fact that we still have another product to present, I will maybe just pick up one more question.
All right.
Peter is asking, is this switch managed by RMS? No. Essentially, one of the, let's say, components of having an unmanaged switch is that it is unable to communicate with RMS in itself. However, if you need something similar in, let's say, in the form factor, in the amount of interfaces, but you'd like to manage that with RMS, I guess my best suggestion would be the Ethernet router X08 that we have. It is fully compatible with all RMS functions. And, since it doesn't have a cellular or Wi-Fi, it comes at a really competitive price as well. So in the future, we will be expanding our, I would say, Ethernet router range. So you'll have a bit more news, but for today, our best bet is the RUT X08.
All right, so thank you, Marius, very much. I think we will hear you after I will make an introduction of another product. So I would like to move to RUT360, which from my belief will be one of the best-selling products of our company, of Teltonika Networks. So now I would like to remember today what is the bestseller of our company, the RUT240, a product which was released just a few years ago and conquered the market by combining all the best that we had, a perfect mix of size, performance, and functionality for the industrial cellular router market, which is worth around 2 billion USDs. It was so successful that, let's see, some of our competitors started to make almost the same devices, and you can see it in the market. It was basically so good that it was installed in many different applications, from public bus Wi-Fi to EV chargers and industrial machinery. It was really, and it is really very popular. And because of this, we can say that it is the best seller, of our device. And we know that the same will happen with our latest device, the brother of our RUT240, the device which is small in size but big in performance, the RUT360, which has the same full aluminum casing type as our RUTX router series. Furthermore, if you would compare it with its predecessor, RUT240, it has two Wi-Fi antennas instead of one. And I will tell you more about those features in just a few slides. So before that, I would like to highlight is that we made this device not to change RUT240, but to have a device which is oriented into projects where, let's say, RTX11 is too expensive, but RT240 lacks a little bit of additional speed. It's also its physical properties. The RT360 physical property speaks for himself. His size is the same as the other device presented today, TSW110, and the size is almost the same as a card deck. The only difference between the first product that I made an introduction and RUT360 is the weight. It weighs 20 grams more. It's quite funny, but I need to say that. So the main features include 4G LTE Cat6 and 2 Ethernet ports. As our RTX series routers, it is equipped with full aluminum housing as mentioned, and DIN rail or surface mounting options. Remember when I have mentioned two Wi-Fi antennas? So those two antennas enables a chance to have MIMO 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi on RT360, which can support up to 100 users and at a single time. Also, RT360 supports a wide range of power supplies from 9 to 30, meaning that, again, you can power it up by using 12-volt battery or 24-volt battery. However, you might be asking why we did not include AC Wi-Fi or gigabit Ethernet. Main motivation here is the price of the product. because we have seen an increasing competition in scenarios where faster cellular connectivity is needed. We designed 360 because we have seen a demand for LTE Cat6 version of RT240. And next, we will speak more about why LTE Cat6 is so important. And the best way to understand it, it is basically to compare it with LTE Cat4. So theoretically, the speed should increase up to 300 megabits per sec instead of 150. But in the real life, the speed can increase by 2 times where signal is bad. This is possible due to the carrier aggregation, which is presented right here. Normally with LTE Cat4, you have a single radio channel active at a time for transferring data, and with carrier aggregation, data transfer utilizes two radio channels, aggregating them and virtually doubling the throughput available at the site. For example, typically in USA, there is a speed of 512 megabits, and with carrier aggregation, you can get from 10 to even 25 megabits. So from a user perspective, LTE Cat6 device will give you roughly double cellular performance comparing to LTE Cat4 device. From a telecom operator side, LTE Cat6 devices use network resources much more efficiently, meaning that a single base station can support much more Cat6 connections than Cat4. Because of these reasons, telecom operators, let's say, influence the project requirements to use Cat6, even in use cases where additional speeds might be not so important. So the three main purposes of RT360 as industrial cellular router is to offer a competitive pricing in project tenders where higher speeds and more powerful devices needed. Furthermore, as most of our devices, it supports three different connectivity options: Wi-Fi, cellular, and wired, which enables a lot of opportunities in the market, such as remote factory automation or rural areas where the speed is crucial. Also, we cannot forget applications such as vending, POS, digital signage, and robotics, which requires bigger data throughput. We believe that RET 360 will follow RET 240 footsteps and will find a very wide range of different use cases, which we will accumulate together with your help and share to the market. We have heard your opinion and the need for one particular topology, and we have applied it to RET 360, the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning connectivity in rural area. You know that most of the buildings requires, VAC systems, since it is crucial for most of the applications where temperature ventilation control is necessary. So as in this case, we have a manufacturing building with manufacturing lines, let's say similar to Teltonika EMS, and we have a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning machine on the roof of the building. Usually these systems are connected to the internet using a cellular router, such as RET360, which is also superb for this particular use case because the factory is in a rural area where mobile signal strength is not big enough for devices which have mobile category Cat4. So the clients must use higher category devices, again, such as RET360 with Cat6. Furthermore, RT360 plays an intermediary role between heating, ventilation, and air conditioning device and BMS. BMS is Building Management System, which control whole building management infrastructure remotely. The next topology is very simple. You have already seen it in the past, but the difference is that you can use RT360 for this particular use case. Since digital signage, I would like to tell that it requires high data throughput. And what could be better in an area where mobile signal strength is weaker? RET360 with LTE Cat6 will ensure that in most areas across the globe, you will have a speed that is enough for digital signage solution. Going further to the third topology and my beloved one, an EV charger management. As you can see, many countries in the world Trust me, many countries in the world, especially in Europe, are offering special deals when you are buying an electric car. And today, many electric cars costs the same or even less than petrol or diesel ones. So more and more people are buying them. The demand for charging is growing. That means the supply for it is growing also, which leads to new chargers built. And for now, at least in Lithuania, most of the chargers are standing in the cities. But what I see, the new ones that are popping up in the middle of the highways or rural roads and other areas where signal strength might not be the best one. So you can take cellular router like LTE Cat6 RUT360 and ensure that the speed will be no different than using LTE Cat4 device in a city, because these charger management systems includes payment, reservation, and other data sensitive solutions. So you have seen the opportunities in the market. You saw some of the business cases, and I would like to tell you that there are no limits where you can use RT360, a simple, small, yet reliable and stable LTE Cat6 industrial router. You can use it from office connectivity to industrial applications or even traffic industry. Furthermore, I would like to highlight that until this day, we have seen that cellular routers are becoming more popular, and we face even more competition that we had last year or the year before that. But competing with most of those vendors might be easier than you think. Since RET360 is smaller than most of them, so you can mount it anywhere. It has a competitive pricing even with Cat6 mobile connectivity, and it has RET OS, a full package of software features for most of your client needs. So if you are looking for LTE Cat4 simple but reliable cellular router, choose RET240. If you are looking for a complex LTE Cat6 cellular router with gigabit Ethernet and AC Wi-Fi, take RTX11. But if you need a simple, small, more powerful device, take RT360 with LTE Cat6 mobile technology. So thank you very much for listening to me, and we will review some of the questions, and those who will not be answered, we will upload to our website. I promise you that, with our recording also. So maybe I would like to ask help from my colleague Marius to review some of the questions and maybe answer them.
Sure, Andrus, absolutely. Um, um, just to be clear, for the whole duration of your presentation, I was really challenging my keyboard to answer as many as I could, but to be honest, there was just too many.
I saw you.
Let's let's just take a look at some of them, some of the questions that we managed to go through. So Peter was inquiring, does it have two SIM slots, referring to RUT 360? So just to highlight, if you'd like a combination of LTE Cat6 and dual SIMs, your best bet is to take a look at our RUT X11 router that Andres also highlighted, which has this functionality. The same can be said to Christoph question. He's inquiring for 5 gigahertz dual band Wi-Fi in the near future. Well, actually, Christoph, it's already in the present as far as our portfolio is concerned, because the same RET X11 offers the combination for LTE Cat6 and AC Wi-Fi, so 2.4 and 5 gigahertz option. But at the same time, if the Wi-Fi is the only wireless technology that you're looking for, we have the RET X10, which is the, let's say, same from the same X family of devices, which also has a AC and BGN Wi-Fi. Going further, Resti, if I'm referring to, if I'm pronouncing correctly, was inquiring about the power consumption of RUT360, and that this really depends on the amount of services you use on the, let's say, on the performance of the device at a time, but also we have a link that's posted in the answer to this specific topic on our wiki. Perhaps let's just take a look at some other questions. Andrus is inquiring, is there any options to increase the amount of flash memory? So in short, yes. And the flash memory can be extended to 256 megabytes. So this is definitely not a standard product, and everybody that would like to increase a flash memory can just get in touch with us, and we can talk about your actual solution and then just find the right way to do it. But we have foreseen let's say a hardware option where flash memory can be increased. 5G plans, many questions from the 5G perspective, and I'm happy to address them all. So let's say one thing in common, what I noticed about the questions referring to 5G is the question, why 360 doesn't have 5G yet? And the simplest answer is that everybody wants 5G, but rarely anybody wants to pay for it. Currently, this technology from large-scale deployment perspective is very limited, not simply because of the availability of connectivity in the 5G realm, but simply because 4G LTE has so many different options, has so many different categories that not many cases really require what 5G has to offer. And due to the low, let's say, popularity or low demand for these type of products, the cost of components, of modules is rather extreme. If we were to release the RUT360, which is 5G capable, so true and honest 5G technology, it would probably cost somewhere in the realm of, I don't know, 700, 800, 900 euros or dollars. And most of the questions and most of the topics in which our partners are looking for 5G devices, they're not looking for them at that price level. So this is very closely tied in to the, let's say, how massively 5G is deployed as a service from the operator side, how widespread is the demand for these devices, which in turn affects the component prices, which in turn affects the device prices. And we're working on that technology, we're working on devices with 5G, but there has to come, let's say, a point in time when the cost of components and in turn the price of the device makes sense. We have several questions about different bands supported by the RUT360. So as always, we use different modules inside our devices. And I would like to come back to these questions simply after the webinar, because we just need to check which sort of versions are available for 360 just at the beginning. But overall, you should expect that the 360 will support the same, let's say, versions, the same bands as our RUT X11 or X12, because they use a same module. Another thing I would like to also address, which I saw very evident in the questions, why Cat6 and 100 megabits LAN ports? Great question. Essentially, by releasing the RUT360, we want to give you more choice. right? So if you need a Cat6 device, which will be able to provide you with, I don't know, 150, 200 megabits per second in a situation where your cellular service is excellent, then for sure you gotta go for RUT-X11. But the beautiful thing about the Cat6 technology and the carrier aggregation is that compared to the Cat4 device, you will get roughly double the performance in cellular speed. So there's so many options and so many projects where our partners have a, let's say, a poor cellular signal. If they take a Cat4 device, they can get 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 megabits per second. And if you want to get more speed in those specific situations, you go for RUT360. Because as a general rule of thumb, you will get double the amount of speed you get with the LTE Cat4 device. So if you have 5 megabits with Cat4, you'll get 10 with the 360. If you have 15 megabits with Cat4, you'll get 30 with the RUT360. So as you see, it's not, let's say, designed for high-end speed on the highest end of the Cat6 capability spectrum, that it is designed to get you that necessary edge in cellular performance where your cellular connectivity is not that powerful, where your service provider is not that, not offering the best connectivity possible. And before the RUT360, your only option was to go for the, let's say, high-end RUT-X11, which is still very competitive in price. But overall, by increasing our cellular IoT router portfolio, we are looking to cover all the bases, to offer you the best in each different segment and in each different project. And most of these decisions are really based on the projects that our partners attend to, the projects that our partners participate in. And our goal is to help our partners win every project. That's the reason the RUT360 comes with Cat6, but comes with also 100 megabits LAN ports. It's to offer the combination of Cat6 and the combination of a very disruptive price point.
All right, so thank you, Marius, very much for the answers to some of the questions. I would like to highlight again that we will share the recording of this webinar in our website and our YouTube channel. We will upload all questions and answers to our website in just a few days. So stay tuned and just subscribe to our channels, to our social media and YouTube channel to see when those questions will be available, to see what interesting webinars in the future we are going to have, what important information you are going to have in, let's say, 1 week, 1 month, or half a year, what new products we are going to release in the future. Also, if you need any support, let's say, any information, you can check our Wiki knowledge base or crowd support forum. There you will get most of the information to your questions. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I wish you a happy day.